Hey guys, this is Zach with Team Covenant. I'm here with Steven and Corey from Fantasy Flight Games. What's going on?
We are demoing Star Wars the card game. This is one of our living card games. This is an early demo. The game's not out yet. It'll be out Q4 this year. This is a game head-to-head. One player plays the dark side. The other player plays the light side. Today we are showing the Jedi versus the Sith decks. So we've got one deck that's got people like Obi-Wan and Luke and Yoda in it. We've got Vader and the Emperor in the other deck. So the epic struggle here. In addition to your draw deck, each player also has a deck of objectives. They start with 3 of them in play. The objectives serve a couple of purposes. First, they're your resources, so you know that you start with a certain amount of resources. You use these to play cards from your hand. The other thing that you use them for is they're your opponent's target. Basically, the Rebels are trying to destroy the Imperial objectives. If they destroy 3 of those, Rebels win the game immediately.
Nice.
The dark side, on the other hand, they win by getting their Death Star dial up to 12. Basically, it moves up 1 every turn, but when they destroy objectives, it starts to move faster. First one they destroy gives them 1. Second one they destroy goes up 2. Cool. So they accelerate fast. However, if the Rebels can't take down the Empire in 12 turns, the Empire has grown large enough to conquer the galaxy, and all hope is lost.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
So,
okay, so how do we start?
Why don't you each draw 6 cards? You got a variety of different cards in there. You've got units, which are ships and characters. Those are your main cards you're going to be using to attack opponents' objectives, defend your objectives. You've got event cards, which are wacky things you can do to do a variety of things outside the battle. You've got fate cards. Fate cards are special things that are used to sway the outcome of battles. And then you have enhancement cards, which are like locations you can put out that give you more resources. Also lightsabers and stuff you can give to your characters. At the start of the game, the Empire gets to go first. We'll just run through the steps of the turn. The first thing that happens is the balance step. The Death Star dial goes up by 1.
No.
11 more turns. Then we do the refresh step. The refresh step doesn't do too much on the first turn, but basically, as you use cards, you're placing tokens on them. These are called focus tokens. During the refresh step, you remove 1 from each of them. What this means is that characters can have multiple tokens on them. You can actually have them stalled out for multiple turns, or if you spend lots of resources at once, you might have to wait longer before you can use them again.
So you can't use a card if it has a focus token on it.
Yes.
So it's exhausted, it's depleted.
That is exactly the terminology. If it has a token on it, it is exhausted.
Okay, cool.
So that's the refresh step. The draw step, you refill your hand up to 6 cards. At the start of the game, you got 6 cards, so it doesn't do too much. So we'll go straight to deployment.
All right.
Deployment is when you're playing characters and ships and stuff from your hand.
Let me know if this is right.
All right.
So this is a unit. It has a cost of 2.
Yep.
So I'll put 1 here and 1 here.
Yes. So you put focus tokens on objectives in order to use their resources.
All right, and then I will go ahead and put this guy out. And I'll put 1 here, and I'll put 2 here.
Yes.
Okay, so that's development. Now, conflict, can I do that on the first turn?
So, the dark side cannot initiate a conflict on the first turn because you don't have any cards in play.
Yeah, dark side. Hey, bring it.
So the cost is in the upper left. As he showed you, below that are force icons, which are used for bidding during battle, and they're also used to take the force, which we'll see in a second. The icons down here are what they can do during battle, and that's how many hit points they have.
And now I see this clearly says unit, enhancement, things like that, and this icon, is that the faction?
That is the Sith icon.
Okay.
Yes.
And this would be like a neutral...
A neutral dark side card.
Cool. Okay.
So the last step is the force step. You can commit characters to the force.
I absolutely will. So I think I take one of these.
Yep.
And I'm going to commit this character to the force.
Yes. After you commit characters to the force, you total how many force icons you have on your committed characters. You have 1, he has 0. Since you have more than him, the force shifts to the dark side.
Now what does that do?
What that means is on your turn, instead of the dial going up by 1, it's going to go up by 2.
Awesome.
If the light side has the force at the start of his turn, he can deal a damage to one of your objectives.
Okay. Now, could I put... There's only 3 force cards over there. Is that standard?
That is a limit.
Okay.
Yes.
And then could you put a force card here too?
Yeah, he could commit both of them to the Force. The downside is a character that's committed to the Force, when you use them during battle and whatnot, you have to place 2 focus tokens on them.
So stalls them out for a bit. Okay.
Yeah, they're slower.
And now, if this character dies, does this just go back to be used again? Okay.
Absolutely.
It stays on the board forever. All right.
So, that is the Empire's turn.
Okay.
Rebels. Balance. Doesn't do anything because you don't have it. Refresh. Doesn't do anything. Draw. You're at 6. Deploy.
Deploy. All right. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resources.
Yes. You could play up to 5 resources worth of cards.
Now, on the one with 2 on it, do I have to use those at the same time?
Yes.
And if it's exhausted, can I put more on it? Or
no. So, for example, next turn there's only going to be 1 token on it. It means that you're not going to be able to use that second one until it's cleared. Cool.
All right. I'm going to put 1 here and 1 here to play a Guardian of Peace. Oh boy, it has shielding, which looks fun. Then I'm going to pay 1 for C-3PO.
All right.
He can be the little canceller there. And then I'm actually
2 left. You could save it for, or you could.
Now, does committing this to the Force exhaust it?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna hold those.
All right, so he's holding onto his cards. So we can actually show you how conflicts work. So the conflict phase, the first thing that happens is you declare which objective you want to attack.
Okay.
You can attack each of them once per turn if you want. So his objectives, he's got one that has 4 hit points, the other ones have 5. This one lets him draw a card at the start of each of your turns.
We want this. Let's try to get that knocked out. All right.
So you decide who is going to participate in that attack.
I'm going to declare the Guardian of Peace, ironically, is going to declare an attack here. Okay.
Not so peaceful.
I'm going to go ahead and defend here.
Okay.
All right, so what happens next?
So, you guys have declared your attackers and defenders. Next we go to what we call the edge battle. During the edge battle, you're going to take turns playing cards face down. All you're looking at on these cards is the Force icons on them. Whoever bids the most Force icons will not only get to attack first with their characters, but they'll be able to use their white icons. Black icons can be used whether you win the Force, whether you win the edge battle or not, but white icons are dependent upon you winning.
And just to note, so like if he uses a bunch of cards here, he won't have any cards to defend with.
Yes, any cards that you play into there, you are discarding from your hand. There are also some special cards, which are fate cards. You do place them face down like everything else, but they have a text effect that'll go off in addition to their icons.
Okay. So, and he attacks. So, does he plays first?
Yes, he either plays first or he passes. If he passes, you automatically win.
All right. So we played our face down stacks.
All right. So now we reveal them.
All right.
If there are any fate cards, they get resolved first. This says, if you are the attacking player, deal 1 damage to the objective. Blank.
Eat it.
Then we total how many icons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I only had 2.
5 to 2. Nice. So you win. That means that you get to go first.
Okay.
So those get discarded. So, in order to strike, you place a token on him.
Okay.
You trigger her icons. 1 damage to a character has to be a participating character.
So then he goes dead. Away. All right. Okay. And so he can go with as many characters as he wants, right?
He could then, you could have attacked with both of them if you wanted to.
Is there a limit to how many?
You can only attack each objective once per turn.
Okay. So if I attack with C-3PO, he doesn't have an icon that does damage to an objective, but if it's unopposed,
if
he
it's
does
unopposed, he will deal 1.
Okay.
However, you might want to keep him back to defend. I don't know. He does have this guy that could potentially kill 3PO if he goes into battle.
Yeah, let's hold back.
All right. So we go to the Force. You could commit a character to the Force. You could put 3PO on the Force if you wanted to. However, it would be tied 1-to-1.
And that wouldn't change.
In the case of a tie, it doesn't change hands.
All right, well, I'm not going to bother with that then.
All right, so that's the end of your turn.
All right, so what happens in balance?
Balance. Death Star goes up by 1. Dark Side goes up by 2. So since you have the balancing forces on the dark side.
Awesome. Okay. And then what?
And then we go to the refresh. 1 token from each.
Nice. Okay. Then I draw back up to 6?
Yes.
So I'm noticing also that these have very strong impacts on the game that I need to be paying attention to.
Yes, there are some special abilities on these. When he plays a Jedi, he gets to draw a card. He can reduce the cost of enhancements by 1.
And those are just static things, they just happen.
Yep, they'll always happen.
Okay.
They don't require you to focus it or anything. So you'll notice, since he spent these 2 resources last turn, this thing is still locked down. He only has 3 resources to spend this turn.
So what a greedy player.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to spend 1 on the interrogators. Uh-oh.
And that's all I'm going to do for right now.
Save his resources. Conflicts. So you can declare attacks against any of his objectives.
I will declare an attack against that objective.
With the interrogator by themselves?
Yep.
All right. So, would you like to defend with 3PO? He will likely die.
You know what? No. 3PO is going to do his thing back there.
Okay. So I'm exhausted.
So you focus him. He deals the character damage. There's nobody participating.
But
it was unopposed.
undefended, so it takes one. Okay.
Would you like to declare a second conflict with your Dark Sith apprentice?
I think I'm good for now.
Okay.
All right. So we go to the Force.
The Force phase, you can commit to the Force.
I'm good.
You still control the Force. So it goes right back to the other
Back
player.
to me. All right. So
Balance, you don't have the
don't
Force.
have the Force, so refresh. I get all my resources back, and I can use my dudes again. I draw back up to 6 cards.
So here, a reaction after your opponent's turn begins. I draw a card.
Yep.
Now, if I have 6 in my hand,
You can go over 6.
I can.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
However, you only draw up to 6
This is awesome.
on your turn.
The art here is...
Isn't it phenomenal?
All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I've got all these resources, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of look at what I've got. I've got 5 to spend, more or less. First thing I'll do is play an enhancement for free. To location, it says it enhances my play area. It contributes 1 Force icon to my side during the Force struggle. Straight up. So it was for free because I have my first enhancement is reduced by 1. Then I will pay 1, 2, 3, 4 for Luke. And after I play a Jedi character, I can draw a card.
So the important decision is, do you put your second
Where did
resource
this guy
here
come from?
and save that one, or are you planned for next turn?
Yes, exactly.
And then you're out of resources.
Okay. Good question. I'm going to go ahead and hold on. And, alright, I'm going to leave that there.
So now it's the conflict phase. You can attack his objectives again.
So Luke has, you would think Luke has to attack, huh?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
He also has that cool ability where he can do the stuff even if he can divide damage.
Luke's going in and he's going to attack the same objective.
All right.
Actually, let's see. So he would do 2 and an additional if it's unopposed. Okay, I'm cool with that.
Would you like to
What do you got,
defend
dark
at
side?
all? So that guy can't defend because he's
I'm
exhausted.
going to defend here.
All right. Now we go to the bid.
It's
So,
on.
so you can play a card face down, and you can as well.
Remember, I'm getting +1 for my ancient monument.
I ain't worried about it.
No, that +1 is just during the Force struggle. It's not. This is the edge battle here.
Oh, okay. So Force struggle being once I put the Force on somebody, it's like they have an additional.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can pass and come back in. It's once you
Yeah, I'll
pass
pass.
back to back.
Do you wanna play more, Vader?
Don't make me do this.
This is worse than eBay.
So the downside with the attacker, you're not going to draw cards for a while. Him though, as a defender, he knows he's going to draw cards in like a minute.
Yeah, for sure. I'll pass.
I'll pass.
All right, reveal. So first we look to see if anybody played any fate cards. We got 1 fate card. Do you have any fate cards?
I have a fate card.
All right, so we do lowest number first. 6. Deal 1 damage to an enemy unit.
Boom.
And then this one, if you're the attacking player, deal 1 damage to the objective.
Boom.
And now we see who has the most icons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, he drops the Palpy.
He's got 11, and you've got 7. So he gets to go first.
Now, when can I play event cards?
You can play event cards at just about any time.
Okay.
So I have a reaction.
Yes, you could play a reaction right now.
So I won the edge battle, right?
Yes.
So I can put him into play.
Yes, you could.
Awesome.
As a participating unit. Wow.
Oh, baby.
So he is part of this battle.
Okay, so I won. So I get to do the whites and the blacks, but the white, this is only damage to objectives.
Yeah. So that won't do anything as
But
a
I
defender.
can do 2 damage to Luke.
Yeah, so the way it's going to happen is you can discard your edge cards. You get to go first. Choose which of your characters is going to strike. They attack. He attacks. They attack.
Oh no. Okay, I will go here first
Okay.
and do 1 damage to Luke.
So Luke takes the damage.
Now, can I want to use her ability?
Take a guess
Yeah.
who it is. Since I'm forced, I have to put 2 of these on.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
Okay.
So this has the ability, if a character would be damaged, I can place the damage on the Guardian of Peace instead.
Nice.
Which I'll do to try to keep Luke up and running.
And then Luke Skywalker, you get to trigger his icons. So you
Okay.
focus him to strike. He's got 2 character damage. They have to all go to the same character.
Yeah, I don't want this guy hitting me.
Okay?
And then do I get this one as well?
And then you get one of those. You don't get the other one because you lost the edge
You
back.
don't get the white because you lost that.
Sure.
All right.
And that is resolved there?
That's the end of it.
Now, action cards, events. Can I play those pretty much at any time?
Just about, yeah.
Okay,
If you can
so-
afford their cost.
So this makes my first one -1 each,
Yep.
right? So this only costs 2.
Yep.
And I will go ahead and destroy Luke.
Well, C3PO is going to come in. When an event card is played, focus and sacrifice this unit to cancel the effects of the event card.
Awesome.
So you get to
So
focus.
C3PO dives in the way of the
Awesome.
Force
He's like a
lightning.
bodyguard. Okay?
All right, Guardian of Peace is going to... Oh, I can't attack. that
She can
again.
attack a different objective, but not the same one.
Do I want to hold back?
You could also put a force on him, and you would get +1 at this point.
Well, he gets +1 regardless, even if nobody's on it. So he will win the force back this turn.
Will he?
Because exhausted doesn't count.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Nice, okay.
Whoopsie doodle.
It's a learning game.
Then I'll hold off. I'm going to
Okay.
hold off. Yeah.
Okay.
So, end of the turn, force. You get the force back.
Now I could also still play it on like Luke or Guardian of Peace
You
if I wanted
could
to.
you could make one of them, commit one of them to the force as well if you wanted.
Okay.
Luke Skywalker has a special thing that says, after your opponent's turn begins, remove a focus token from him.
He's the bomb.
Hello.
All right, so balance.
Balance. So, Death Star goes up by 1.
Refresh.
Refresh. Remove 1 token from each. And
Draw?
draw.
So
So
draw
he's
6.
drawing
Draw
6 cards.
6. Ooh.
And then he's going to get to deploy cards. Once he's read all 6 of them.
You act like you're new at this.
Okay.
Can you, while it's actually in this, can you explain shielding to me, how that mechanic works?
So when you commit a character to a battle with shielding, you place a blue token on any other character, or even that character in there. And it'll soak the first damage dealt to that character.
Nice. Okay.
You do remove them during the refresh step though.
Okay.
So they'll stay out there for a turn.
All right. I'm gonna. That should be good. I'm gonna take it easy. I'm just gonna spend 2. Right here. Let's go ahead and do 2 of those. 2 again.
That's your security teams.
Getting swarmed out here.
Now, I'm curious, the whole faction thing, right?
Yes.
So, when I play this guy for 2 with that faction, does one of these guys have to be of that faction?
Yes, when you play a card, at least one of the resources has to come from a card of that faction.
Okay.
Some cards are neutral and they can come from anything. But that's a lot more important once you start getting locations into play that generate neutral resources.
I'll read you. Okay, so let's go for some gold here. I'm going to use this guy to attack that agenda.
Is he going by himself?
He's going solo.
All right. You could defend. You got 2 characters.
Oh
that-
yeah, I'm gonna ace that guy, no doubt in my mind. I'm worried about losing the edge battle, which is fine.
You want to throw Luke in?
Yeah, I think Luke's just gonna try to kill that security team.
Okay,
I hope you don't have any tricks.
so I'll start there.
None.
So you can either pass and end the edge battle, or
I'll pass.
Okay.
All right, so I have 2 force.
Nice.
I also automatically deal 1 to the objective I was attacking.
Okay.
So then I go with my stuff.
You get
for
to
the
strike
1, right?
first.
So
1 damage.
I'll do 1 to the objective,
1 damage
Right,
to
from
the
The white,
objective.
yeah.
and then 1 to Luke.
Yep. Do you want to use your Guardian of Peace, or is Luke going to
No,
take it?
the piece is cool. We're gonna chill.
Okay, so then Luke gets to use his
Luke
black.
gets to strike. So, tricky thing about him, he's got offensive strike. When he attacks, he doesn't have to deal the damage to him. He could deal it to anybody. At one character.
We will deal it. I'll deal 2 here.
Surprise, Luke's a really good card.
Shocker.
And
Okay.
so that's the end of the battle.
Now I have an event.
Yes, go ahead. Can you afford it?
I cannot.
Okay.
So attacking is even if you're on the defense or the offense. Anytime you're engaged in a battle, you're considered attacking.
No.
Okay.
It's called striking when you actually trigger your icons. And
Okay,
whatnot.
so when he declares an attack, I declare defenders, and then he technically strikes at me, and
It
then
strikes
I strike
at you
back.
and you strike back.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Anything else? Dark
He does
side?
have his interrogators if he wanted to use them. They can't attack this objective, but they could attack one of the other ones. Or he can save them to do defense.
My Guardian of Peace has plenty to say about
I'm
you.
good to go.
Do you want to commit anything to the Force?
Absolutely.
It's going to be a tie.
So 1-to-1, the thing does not shift.
We're good. Okay.
All right, light side balance. You get to trigger the forces with the light side.
Deal 1 damage to one target objective. Boom. Thank you, sir.
So you put it in your victory pile. You've got one. If you claim 3 of them, you win.
Awesome.
He will get another one back at the start of his refresh step.
At random?
Yes.
All right, and then we refresh everything.
Yep. And Luke's
He's
got
hurting.
some
huh?
damage on him. Then you draw your cards.
Go up to 6. Well, we have to do this. All right, then we will. Haven't even looked at the cards, but we know it has to happen. Play Yoda. Draw from my agenda. What does he do? Is he good?
He gains a damage and an objective damage for each enhancement on him.
Okay. Then I will pay 1 for a Twi'lek Loyalist.
This
Draw
is
once
not
again.
fair. Where's Vader when you need him?
I don't know. Hopefully at the top of your deck.
Agreed.
All right, and then just to be extra mean, I will commit my last resource there.
So,
You have to do them all at once?
yes, you have to do them out
Okay.
once. So the way you would have done this, you would have had to place them both on here and save
Okay.
that one over there.
Cool. Good to know. So I'll play 1 for a Jedi Mind Trick on the Interrogators. Place 1 focus or 2 if I have the Force, which I do.
You do have the Force.
So you are out there.
Things just went from bad to
And this
worse.
is 5.
All hope is lost.
Those were the droids we were looking for.
Those were the droids.
3. All right, so then we're gonna attack Yoda and Luke
Which
on
objective?
this one.
All right.
Unopposed.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you can still play cards if you wanted to, but you usually don't need to.
So yeah, the edge battle.
You will win the edge battle regardless.
1, 2, 3. I'll get 4.
Don't got any of those wacky cards.
All right, yeah, that's all we'll do.
So,
That's all.
so you want to trigger them one at a time because some of their effects are going to matter. Yoda. So when you trigger him, he's got tactics. You can place a focus token on anybody.
Oh, snap.
He's got character damage, but there's nobody participating.
Yeah.
He deals 1 damage.
All right, 1 damage
Luke.
to the thing.
2 damage. He has offensive strike. He can deal it to non-participating characters if you wish.
So we'll go 2 here.
And then he can deal 2 damage to the
2
objective.
damage, yeah.
And then the objective is unopposed. So that's another one.
This game is not going nearly as good as it went earlier.
The Empire was tearing it up in our last game.
All right, and then we will do the
You could initiate a battle against this if you'd like.
yeah, the Twi'lek Loyalist is gonna do that.
Undefended, I assume.
Oh my god.
So 1 damage on it, and
And
you
I
get
can
to focus somebody.
that guy there.
End of the turn.
He's forced, right?
Yes, he is.
He was forced to do that.
The end of the turn. The Force is with the light side, so it stays with you because you have this card. That would be pretty much it.
I can buff it up if I want to, right? So if I put the Force on Yoda, it's like he's
Yes.
got the Force.
However, when he's exhausted, he won't count his icons.
Okay. And he has to remove 1 additional whenever he refreshes, so that's pretty good to put the
Yeah.
light side on him, right? Or the Force on him.
So that's pretty much our demo. You can
Cool.
see what's going on. You got 1 objective. He probably would have might have been able to take this one down next turn.
Yeah, that's why it's good to spin the juice.
Where's
Sure.
Vader and the Emperor at the bottom of the deck? Oh, third to last card.
This ain't no good.
So let's just look at Vader real quick, just to give an idea. So he's also elite, so you remove additional focus from him. And after you play a event card, a Sith event card, deal 1 damage to a target unit. So he's a burn deck, Zach. It's perfect.
There's the Emperor.
Palpatine, after your objective.
Look at all those
destroyed,
tactics icons.
Return 1 Sith event from your discard pile to your hand. This is the Targaryens, man.
I'm
what
in
you're all
heaven.
about.
I'm in heaven.
All right, man. Well, Corey, thanks so much.
Yeah, you bet.
And
Thanks for
absolute
playing.
privilege.
Awesome game.
What is your role at Fantasy Flight?
I am the head of research and design, so
So what's your favorite thing about the Star Wars card game? You scrapped the old design.
yes.
Now, why was that? What was the reason?
Well, we felt like we weren't doing something that was innovative enough. We thought if we go back, let's just take a look, see if we started over from scratch and we've come up with something that was really, really cool. Because we thought we had a good game, but not necessarily a great game. So we went back to the drawing board, brought in Eric Lang, one of our designed a lot of card games for us, and he came up with some really cool ideas that we thought would have just lead to a much better game. And so that's what you're playing here today.
Cool.
I definitely agree. I tried it last year at GenCon, and this is fantastic. Now,
very cool.
what are the deck building restrictions here?
So deck building is very interesting in this game. You get to choose which affiliation you want to bring. There's 3 for each side. There's the Jedi, the Rebel Alliance, and there's the Smugglers and Spies. On the dark side, you have the Sith, the Imperial Navy, and the Scum and Villains. So you choose which card here, and then you choose which 10 objectives you want to bring with you. And those objectives not only have affiliations that match these, so you can mix stuff in there. You could put some Rebellion stuff in here if you wanted. But they also dictate which cards go into your deck. So for example, this card comes from block number 6. It's card 1 of 6. When you build your objective deck, this automatically brings its other 5 cards with you. So by choosing 10 cards for your objectives, it is actually building your deck for you. So if you want to bring 2 Luke Skywalkers, you need to bring 2 of whatever that objective is. If you want to bring 2
Now,
Emperors,
is there a limit to how many of each objective
you can have 2 of each.
Gotcha.
There are a couple that are limited.
Which means 1.
Which
right?
means yeah, there are a couple that are limited to 1, but for the most part, you can bring 2 of it to get like multiples of those main characters. It also lets us do some really interesting things in the blocks. Like for example, there's one block that is nothing but 0-cost stormtroopers, and if you want a bunch of free stormtroopers, throw that in your deck.
Yeah.
Cool. So deck building is really dictated here.
Exactly. You're building your deck on this side, and you're not swapping out individual cards. You're actually thinking how do the blocks synergize together. If I want to bring Han, do I really want to bring the other cards that come with him into my deck? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't.
Awesome. So, and this is the standard LCG chapter pack system.
Yep. You get there's the $40 core set that has 4 pre-constructed decks, and then we'll have monthly boosters for the or monthly
Chapter packs.
And those will
something
probably
packs that'll
packs.
have fixed content in there.
Whatever it is.
That'll have new blocks
come
for
with the
you.
objectives and then the 5 block cards that come with it.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Fantastic.
All right, man. Well, thanks again. We really
bet.
do appreciate it. It's a great demo. Great
Awesome.
game.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Great show.